You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, isn't it?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Wednesday in the Quad Cities, Wednesday, December 17th. The countdown continues to Christmas. We are now 8 days away from Christmas. Hopefully you guys are getting ready for the holiday season. You're getting your shopping done, all of those kind of things as it'll be here before you know it. It's crazy. It felt like Halloween like a week ago, and now we're talking about Christmas already. In between that, Thanksgiving came and went and all those kind of things. So hopefully you guys are getting ready for the holidays. Thank you for spending your Wednesday morning with us as we talk sports and everything else right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. If you're watching us live on YouTube, we appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. If you have subscribed, thank you for that as well. If you haven't, shame on you. Do so ASAP. It helps us out a ton. Up over 1,400 subscribers, want to get to 1,500. That's our kind of goal for the first, before the 2026. So, and also tell a friend or two or 10 about what we're doing each and every weekday right here. It's Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. We're also live on X. X has been very good to us as well. Thousands watch on X every day, which we appreciate. So if you're watching on X, thank you. Give us your feedback as well. Also on YouTube, the chat has been pretty lively of late. So we like that. Hop on there. We got a lot to talk about today. Some controversial stuff to talk about when it comes to playoff expansion in the state of Illinois when it comes to high school football. So hop on, give us your feedback, questions for the guests that we have on here as well. Myself, you want to yell at me. I'm annoying. I got big ears, all those kind of things. Do those. I love the fact I get to wear a headset every single day. It takes those big ears away. So also we're available on all the podcasting platforms as well. Put on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Put in Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, and you can check out the show on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts. Listen to the show, go Christmas shopping and listen to what we're doing. Christmas wrap, all those kind of things, wrap presents, everything else. Not Christmas wrap. That sounds weird. Wrapping Christmas gifts, I think is the right way to put it. So make sure you download, and thank you to those everydayers that I know listen to the podcast via the podcasting audio form as well every single day. And I say it all the time. You don't have to look at me or our guests. You can just listen as well. So also welcome to our viewers in Central Iowa. We're on every single night at 7 p.m. on the WHO streaming app. We've been doing that for months now, and it's been a bunch of fun. So thank you guys for partaking in this show as well. It's been a busy week so far. Monday, we had Pat Anger on the show, John Marks, Don Umlin talking wrestling. We also had Brady Welch from Moline on. Moline played Orion yesterday. After 29 against Rock Island, Brady Welch had, I think, 34 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists last night in a victory over Orion. So I like to talk about the off the air rub, if you will, the good luck that we give athletes around the area. So I'm taking credit. If mom, dad, Brady, anybody else is watching, I'm taking a little credit for that big night last night as Moline won once again. Also, United Township got a big victory over previously unbeaten Peoria Ridgewoods with some Division I talent. So a nice victory from them. A busy night in the MAC. We'll talk a little more high school basketball coming up in just a little bit. On Tuesday on the show, yesterday's show, we had Jay Kidwell on, one of my favorite people in the entire world. So go check that out. We talked Iowa women's basketball with Kyle Huseman. We talked everything Illini with Ken Prince. So go check out yesterday's show as well. If you missed that, go back, check out the shows previous this week as well. It's one of those weird weeks where it's not overly busy. We've been through a busy time in the world of sports, and with the holidays quickly approaching, things are slowing down a little bit, but that does not mean the show slows down at all. We have a ton to get to today. It's Wednesday, which means Jake Brend is on the show. If you're a Cyclone fan, you love that. If you're an Iowa fan, you might not love it, but you love to get the takes that he has. Fantastic job covering the Cyclones. We'll talk to him about a lot of different things. We'll recap the Cyhawk game from last week, what he liked about Iowa, because Iowa played well in that game. If he could, I'm going to ask him if he could get the Cyclones one Christmas gift, basketball-wise, what would it be? We'll also talk about the controversial halftime speech from the new coach up in Ames, the new football coach as well. So Jimmy Rogers is his name. I almost forgot his name. He's new. Give me a second. And much more. Jake Brend coming up in just a little bit. Also, it's a big talking point right now on social media, and it should be the IHSA approving a vote via the schools playoff expansion in football next year. So it goes from 32 to 48 teams in every class. So a lot more teams will be making the postseason. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What does it mean? Where did it come from? I think a lot of people throughout the year talked about the district or regions kind of Roxana proposal that was coming. That didn't get much traction. And then here comes this one. And now you're going to have 2-7 teams making the postseason, 3-6 teams. I've talked to several coaches. Some of them simply want to get away from the districts and regions. So if this means that we don't have to deal with that, then they're all for it. So a lot to get to. Mitch Stoermer, very educated on the subject. One of our friends from View from the West podcast will join us coming up here in hour number 1 in just a little bit to talk all about it, explain to me what it means, the pros of it, which there are, I guess, a few, the cons of it, which I think there's more negative than positive, but we'll get into all that. And I want your feedback on all the YouTube streaming apps and devices and everything else, because it's got a lot of people talking, and rightfully so. So that's coming up as well. Also, Ness Guess Wednesday, where we recorded it from Hungry Hobo. Thank you to Hungry Hobo, a fantastic sponsor of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo in general, but a specific and exclusive sponsor to the Ness Guess contest. So we were at Rock Island Hungry Hobo yesterday. Yes, I had waffle fries with cheese sauce, and yes, it was delicious. It's a perfect time of year. Not to go on off I talk about all my sponsors, but sometimes when it's cold and bad out, there's nothing better than a sandwich off the grill at Hungry Hobo and chicken tortilla soup, or the potato soup that they have, and just that hits. It's great. So anyways, sorry, I'm hungry. I haven't had breakfast. So we have that segment coming up. Ness and I will talk about the NFL this week, look back at a crazy week last week. The loser between him and I will take a pie in the face, and my youngest son Carson has now gotten involved. So if I lose, I take 2 pies in the face. If I can come back and win, then I get to give each of them a pie in the face, which I really would like, but I'm losing. Down 9 games, 3 weeks to go, and a familiar winner. I love the winner this week. Last week's winner was Brian Stocking. This week's winner is so much better. So we'll talk about that coming up a little bit later in hour number 2 of the show. We did some poll questions yesterday, and it's amazing how it's a sports show, and sometimes the non-sports poll questions do really, really well. A lot of feedback on this one. We asked the favorite Christmas movie. Christmas Vacation won with 52% of the vote. Home Alone second with 31% of the vote. Elf was third with 11%. The Grinch was fourth with 4.9% of the vote. And several different write-ins as well. Die Hard, I guess, is a Christmas movie. I've been yelled at that it's not. I've been yelled at that it is. So you guys can keep yelling about that later. Also, the other poll question that we had yesterday, actually we just had one yesterday, I believe. Yeah, I think so. So today's poll questions, there's 2 of them before we get rocking and rolling. Favorite Christmas cookie. My wife has already started doing some baking. My mom has. I've talked to everybody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we baked last weekend," or "I know this weekend will be a popular weekend to bake because it's the weekend before Christmas week." So, what's your favorite Christmas cookie? On the poll right now, I put my favorite on there. I don't know if this is the top 4, but Oreo balls are amazing. Okay, so that's my favorite. That's number 1. So I put that on there. Sugar cookies, number 2, are on there as well. I'm not ranking them. Gingerbread cookies, and I don't even know if gingerbread cookies are good, but it's Christmas, and it just felt like it needed to go on the list because gingerbread houses and gingerbread cookies, and I don't even know if they're good. I think more gingerbread houses than actually the cookie itself, but maybe some people love it. Let me know. And then peanut butter blossoms. That's the peanut butter cookie with the usually Hershey Kiss in the middle. Sometimes I've had them with the miniature peanut butter cups in the middle of them as well. Oh, God, I'm so hungry. So go ahead and vote. What's the favorite Christmas cookie this time of year? Now the sports question that's on there, there's 2 of them. At Matt Randazzo is where you go find it on Twitter or X or whatever you call it nowadays. It's simple. The IHSA expanding the postseason, did they make a right decision or vote? It really wasn't a decision by the IHSA, and Mitch will explain that later on. It's more of a vote. So was the right decision made? Simple. Yes or no. Give me your feedback, why or why not. We'll talk much more about that coming up in just a little bit. Next segment, we'll talk the high school football expansion of the playoffs in Illinois as well. So a lot to get to on today's show. Really glad you guys have spent the time to join us. Excited about the show itself. And I got to do one thing on the fly here because as I got ready for everything today, I didn't do one little thing. So I got to do something real quick and then we'll get rocking and rolling. But it should be an extremely busy and fun show here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Did I not do this correctly? Wait for it. I did. Whew. See, sometimes I need help, especially this time of year. Actually, most days I need help, but hopefully we can figure this out and get through. It should not be this difficult. There we go. Man, was that not that hard. Anyways, so we got a lot to get to on today's show. Jake Brend coming up in a matter of moments. Mitch Stoermer talking high school football and the expansion of playoffs. Ness Guess and so much more. But we start today, like we normally do on a Wednesday, with a familiar face from Central Iowa. So it's Wednesday, which means Jake Brend is here to talk Cyclones here. I'm off there with Matt Randazzo. First and foremost, happy Wednesday. Are you ready for Christmas?
Oh, I can't wait.
But are you ready? Like, there's a difference between being excited and being ready.
Oh, no. I did a lot of Christmas shopping yesterday, but I'm still not done. I'm not done.
Yeah.
I've got a lot to do still.
Wait till you have 4 kids, man. It's just like, I don't think we're ever done till like Christmas Eve and all that kind of stuff, but we're getting there. And I always want to enjoy. Work-wise, though, like things slow down a little bit for you to enjoy the holiday?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of just in this holding pattern of, is football news going to happen? When's it going to happen? Are we just going to have to wait until the portal opens up January 2nd? And right now, it seems like it might be a little bit slow until Christmas, and that's perfectly fine by me. I mean, basketball, I don't want to dismiss the powers from Long Beach State and Houston Christian, but for the men, feels like a couple weeks off before they open Big 12 play on a Friday night against West Virginia. The women, they play Kansas on Sunday, so that'll be a big game as they open Big 12 play. But for the most part, it does kind of feel like I can enjoy the Christmas season and start. I watched a Christmas movie last night. It's time to get in that mode.
All right. I usually do this at the end, but you mentioned Christmas movie. I put it up yesterday, like, what's your favorite Christmas movie? And it's amazing. It's kind of a sports show that we do here. And I'll put up a poll question about sports, and sometimes people will vote on it. We're okay. But I put up a holiday movie one, and it was just like nonstop, like voting and all that kind of stuff. What holiday movie did you watch? And what's your favorite Christmas movie this time of year?
So last night I watched, it's probably my favorite Christmas movie that's come out in the 21st century.
Okay.
It's called The Holdovers. It came out 2 years ago. It's got Paul Giamatti. It's about this all boys, like not military school, but a private school in the Northeast. And there's pretty much one kid that doesn't get to go home for Christmas because his family doesn't welcome him or whatever. And he stays back with this professor or teacher. And it's just those two. It's a really good movie. It's a heartfelt movie.
The Holdovers.
So
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's kind of a, I don't know, a film.
Is it a Hallmark movie, Jake? Are we
No.
watching okay, just checking. But
No, this is like a really good movie that
Okay.
I would watch in July, but
All right.
it happens to take place over Christmas. But my favorite Christmas movie, it's Christmas Vacation.
yeah, that
Are
one,
you
that
kidding me?
one, that one.
Christmas
And
Vacation and It's a Wonderful Life are two that I watch pretty much every single December.
See, for me, it has to be Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, and Elf.
And, yeah,
those
Home
those
Alone,
three
too.
are the ones that I have to check off. And then because I've had kids and they've gone through that stages of like, I like an old fashioned Rudolph or Frosty, those old ones that you watched growing up that are on like CBS. They're a half hour long, maybe an hour long. Those are fun to watch as well. Favorite Christmas treat? That's today's polls question. Is it is there like a snickerdoodle, or is there some type of like Christmas cookie or Christmas treat sweet wise that you have to have?
I'm pretty basic. Just give me a good frosted sugar cookie.
Yeah, anything
or,
with sugar in it.
Or
is
my
good.
my Aunt Missy makes some pretty incredible homemade caramels, soft
Okay.
caramels. So those are, but that's also a Thanksgiving treat. She doubles up, does it Thanksgiving, Christmas. So if we're going true, authentic Christmas desserts, just give me a frosted sugar cookie.
This eggnog, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
oh yeah.
Hold on. Unspiked eggnog.
I'll do either, but spiked ain't bad either.
All right. Well, that'll do it. Thanks for joining me, Jake. We got all the important
Yeah,
stuff out of the way.
good to see you, Dasso.
I think so. I did have people like say to me and on social media or like texting with Iowa fans, obviously say to me like, I want to see Brend on your show next week after the Cy-Hawk series the way it was. Do you? I mean, obviously you gotta let people know. You gotta let Iowa fans know the state like that was a dominating Cy-Hawk series this year, especially in the major sports for Iowa State.
Yeah, and I think what's impressive about it and what's notable about it is these are good Iowa teams.
Yeah.
This isn't catching Kirk Ferentz in a year, like in a down year or a rebuilding year. They're top 25 going to the ReliaQuest Bowl. The men's team, I put in my top 25 this week. I think they're destined to be maybe a top 6 seed in March Madness. Of course, the women's basketball team is ranked in the top 15 as well. And the wrestling team, yes, it's down compared to the teams that have won national titles,
But
they're still ranked 3 in the country. So this is not beating up on a bunch of mediocre teams. I would say you beat 4 really good teams, and I think that just is a testament. I mean, of course, I think Kevin Dresser gets most of the credit because that's the streak that hadn't been broken. It'd been 20 straight years. You can't sweep the major sports if you don't get wrestling one of these years. So it just so happened the year they were able to take down Iowa in wrestling that all the other coaches took care of business at home as favorites.
It's fun. I'll talk about the game for a quick second because yes, it was 6 days ago, and each team's played games before or since then. But let's be honest, they just checked boxes since then. I think a lot of people expected a blowout or a bigger victory for Iowa State. Were you impressed with look at Iowa and give me your thoughts on what you saw from Iowa? Obviously you cover Iowa State all the time. Was that you being more impressed by Iowa, or did Iowa State not play well? Where do you look at it as you look at that game as a whole?
It's a little bit of both. Like, I don't think Iowa State played well at all, but I think Iowa had a lot to do with that.
Sure.
And that's what I came away super impressed. 3 different areas for Iowa. The first one, just how they played that first half. They completely dictated the tempo of that game. They punched Iowa State in the face, and I don't think Iowa State was expecting it. I think Iowa State expected to go in there, punch Iowa a couple times, like what has happened the last 2 times that Iowa's come into Hilton Coliseum with Fran McCaffrey, you punch them once and they'll fold over. And that didn't happen whatsoever. In fact, it was the opposite. Of course, Iowa State was able to rally. They have the 19-0 run, and that's the other part I was impressed with Iowa. Most teams, not just like Fran McCaffrey teams, most teams around the country, after giving up a 19-0 run in Hilton, the game's just going to be over. You're not going to come back from down 10 after that, and Iowa didn't die. And the other area I was impressed with is you see the growth from when they were playing at Michigan State a week ago, and Michigan State just said, hey, anybody but Sturts beat us. And nobody other than Sturts could hit a shot. And that was not the case last Thursday. Iowa State was able to take Sturts out of the game, but other players were able to get their own. And I think that's got to be encouraging going forward to see that Isaiah Howard and Tavion Banks, Cam Manyow, that they were able to have some big shots in that second half.
Yeah, no, the Iowa Minute with Jake Brend, that was well done. Who needs all these Iowa experts when I got Jake to break down the Hawks?
I covered a lot of those guys pretty closely at Drake also. So
I get you. Yesterday we had Ken Prince on from covering Illinois, and I gave him a Christmas wish list where give me one thing you could get for the Illinois basketball team for Christmas that they need. His was toughness. If I did the same for Iowa State and I said, hey, I'm Santa Claus, which more and more nowadays I feel like I look like Santa Claus. What would you want on your wish list for the Iowa State basketball team moving into the rest of the season?
This might be pushing the limits with Santa or getting too creative, but
Santa,
can I just say
Santa can do all. Don't doubt Santa on my show, Jake Brend.
Could I just say health for Taman Lipsey?
You can say health for everybody if you want to, but Taman obviously is important.
I feel like that's cheating.
Okay.
I think if any team in the country could promise health, that'd be unfair. I just want to promise health. I don't even need 100%. If I can just have a promise for Taman Lipsey to be 85% in March Madness, I think I would love for Santa to bring that this year.
Is that the biggest thing? Because I look back to last year and things went sideways with Iowa State. Is that the biggest thing, is to figure out a way to continue this type of play in February and March, more importantly, March, obviously?
Yeah, I think they've shown, though, that they can win without Taman. It's more a matter of, like, if you're actually chasing a 1 seed or chasing a Final Four, you want to be at full strength and you want to have your most important player, and that's Taman Lipsey. So I hope this doesn't happen. I don't want to put bad mojo out there, but if Taman has to miss a couple games in Big 12 play, I think they'll be okay, and I think they'll sustain that and they'll be all right. But if you want to make a deep run in March, you're going to want number 3 to be out there for you.
Jake, Iowa State beating Iowa was the headline on Thursday. The other headline was the football coach. And I remember I called a high school basketball game and I got out and I was going to watch it a little bit delayed, and that's all I saw was so I have no issues with it. I really don't. Like we talked about on the show with some Iowa experts a couple times. And there's always the litmus test at Iowa, like what would KF do? Like would Kirk Ferentz do something like that? He's not Kirk Ferentz, and I think that's a good thing and a bad thing too. You know what I mean? Like you can't say, hey, you're not Kirk, and then point out the things that he does like Kirk. So I had no issues with it. I know Iowa State fans loved it. You mentioned on Wednesday, I think it was you, either you or Keith. I get you sportscasters of the years confused every once in a while, but they talked about, like, I think you may have that, like, he's going to bring it up. He's going to say something. He's going to address the crowd at the Hilton on the rivalry game. Did you expect it to go that far? And what were your thoughts about it?
No, I don't think he did either. That's what was great about it. Is it truly seemed like a natural reaction. Like, I think he had this pre-planned, I'm going to say, hey, Hilton's packed. Let's get Jack Trice packed this fall. Excited for you guys to see the team. And honestly, it wasn't really landing with the crowd. Like it was just your run of the mill
check boxes.
coach, addressing the crowd, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, this isn't working. And he just snapped into football mode. And I think that's just his personality. And I thought it was awesome. I was 99% sure that's what he said in the moment, but it's also like I was 5 feet away from him. And when you're there with the PA address system over the speakers, I wasn't 100% sure that he said that. So then I went and asked somebody, and they're like, yeah, he went there. So I thought it was awesome. I thought it changed the atmosphere. Like, he did that in a moment where Iowa was up double digits. And from there on, Iowa State went on a big run, and he'll never be forgotten for what his intro to Cyclone Nation was.
Yeah, I'm a wrestling fan. I love WWE and stuff. And like sometimes when you push it a little bit and you say the words that you're like not expect, that's why Stone Cold was so great back in the day, was because he was saying things that you wanted to say that you didn't think you could say, and the Attitude Era. So I mean, it is what it is. If I'm there with like a 5-year-old, I don't love it, but it is what it is. And also if you're going to Hilton Coliseum and you're listening to the student section chant F Iowa and everything else,
exactly,
like, you're bringing your kid into an environment where you should expect that kind of stuff to happen. It's not the 80s or the 90s anymore when it comes to that kind of stuff. How about this? If I would have told you that Iowa gave Pat Angerer a live microphone 2 years ago and the football coach at Iowa State gets hired, who would have thought that the football coach at Iowa State would be the first person to drop an F-bomb on a live microphone over Pat Angerer? That's impressive.
I would have lost a lot of money on that bet. So.
Both former middle linebackers. I think Pat pointed out on Monday on my show. I think they're both linebackers. So like he said, we've been hit enough that we don't know what we're saying half the time anyway. So I thought it was what it was. Like, if you're an Iowa fan, like, it's part of the rivalry. It's what it is. So, but I know some were offended. It is what it is. And we'll kind of move on from that. Let's go to football. What have you learned about your new football coach in the last, 10 days? It's more than that. 2 weeks? Whatever it's been.
Yeah.
What have you learned?
I mean, not a ton. I feel like I learned as much about him from his speech at Hilton Coliseum as anything outside of his press conference. It's been just really quiet within the program.
Is that good or bad?
So I think that's good.
Sure.
Most of these coaching changes, you would expect, you have these one-on-one player-only meetings trying to keep guys. You'd be hearing immediately this list of 25 players that are gone. And we're just not hearing this. Like, I've been hearing rumblings of a handful of players that are leaning towards leaving, but it seems like there's been very few players that are, nope, no shot, I'm not staying, I'm not playing for this guy. It seems like there's a lot of guys that are like, yeah, I'll play for this guy, but they're going to weigh all their options. So that is a positive. I guess they haven't announced yet that they hired their defensive coordinator, but their new defensive coordinator announced that he was coming via interview. The Washington State defensive coordinator and now interim head coach for the bowl game, Jesse Bobbitt, will be coming over, and they play Monday. So I'm guessing after Monday, you'll start to see those position coaches fall into place a little bit, and maybe that's when guys start officially making that decision if they're going to stay or if they're going to enter the transfer portal.
You know this more than I do. What's the portal open from? It's only one period right now. I know there's not one in the spring anymore. Isn't it just one go at it?
That's right.
And it's open now. I have not declared, by the way. I'm not in the portal yet. So I think I got a year or two left. I haven't decided. When does it go to? Is it through January?
So it's not open right now.
Oh.
It opens January 2nd.
Don't you correct me, the host on my show. How dare you? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, I think I came in here last week and told you that it was open because I was under the impression.
I thought it was, but you're right. But I think it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want on social media. Eventually, when it opens up, you're getting in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just because it's not open doesn't mean people aren't telling people that I'm going. Obviously, what is the Childs guy from everybody's getting the portal right
State,
now. Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, so I was under the impression, which I think this is still true, that after a coach leaves, 5 days after, the portal will open for 15 days. But from my understanding, that's only if it happens during the season or during the summer.
Okay.
So I thought Iowa State officially hires Jimmy Rogers Saturday, December 7th or whatever day that was, that December 12th, the portal would open for 15 days. I don't think that's the case. So
Gotcha.
I believe Iowa State's in the same boat as everybody else, where the portal will open January 2nd, and I believe it closes whatever the day before the second semester is for everybody. So it's the January 17th or something, somewhere in that range. It'll be open for the normal time that it has been in the past. It's just in January instead of December.
I think the biggest name is Rocco Becht and whether he's staying or going. Is there a feel vibe? Is that the biggest name? Is that the first domino? Is that even on the table, or is he? Where's Rocco at when it comes to? Because I think him coming back next year with everybody around him. We talked before this craziness happened that like this year hopefully set up next year. I think you said like, and it made sense. Like we can talk about what this year was like after we look at what happens next year. If it was that springboard year into an amazing, 2026, then this year was a great year. Is Rocco where everything starts when it comes to who's staying, who's going with the Cyclones?
Yeah, I don't think Rocco completely makes or breaks next year. Like the way I'm looking at it, Rogers' defensive background, Bobbitt's looking like one of the best DCs in the country, a couple of the other position coaches that have been rumored of coming in. I think Iowa State's going to rely on their defense next year regardless. What I think Rocco could do if he comes back, there's probably a handful of guys that would decide that, you know what, if Rocco's coming back, I'm coming back. And I think that'd be the biggest value that they'd have, and you'd be getting one of the better quarterbacks in the Big 12 back as well. I also know that this staff prioritizes Alex Mansky, 4-star quarterback, redshirt freshman from Algona. And a lot of that comes down to you get him for 4 years versus you get a guy for 1 year. So I don't know where that balance is. Obviously, Rocco in the open market is going to get more money than Mansky, and I don't know if this is a Moneyball type situation, but I would be shocked if Iowa State's not pushing hard to keep Rocco for all of the leadership, the intangibles, and the obvious results on the field. As far as where Rocco's at, I don't know. Him being at Hilton Coliseum for the women's game last week and speaking to the team is certainly an encouragement. And I can speak on this, that I know this is not a situation of, oh, I'm leaving no matter what. Like, I think this is a decision for Rocco, and knowing him, this is probably not an easy one, because regardless of the decision he makes, whether he decides to stay at Iowa State, go to Penn State, or go somebody else, like if he stays at Iowa State, he's leaving Matt Campbell and Taylor Mauser, two guys that he loves and loves playing for. If he leaves Iowa State, he's leaving a lot of his he's leaving a lot of his friends that he's made here, a lot of his teammates, and if he goes somewhere else, which I'm not aware of, then of course he's obviously not going to be with any of those guys.
Do you think it's as simple as Penn State or Iowa State?
I don't think it's that simple, but I'd say I'd be surprised if he wasn't at one of those two schools next year.
That makes sense. Jake Brend from the Cyclone Fanatic joining us right now and off there with Matt Randazzo. Before we let you go, quickly, you mentioned Kansas State and Iowa State, women's wise. The women's program playing without, and Northern Iowa's down, so I don't think it was like the end of the world, but they looked good even without Audie the other day. When we start talking, I think Iowa-wise, the Big Ten's a gauntlet. The Big 12, yeah. Iowa State, I mean, they're ranked in the top 10, and they're a really good basketball team, but they're the favorites to win the Big 12. They should be. You're on record on this show as saying, like, this is a year that Bill Fenley and company should get to the Elite Eight, or this is a big year. Talk about Kansas State and then maybe the conference as a whole. Iowa State's the favorite, aren't they?
Yeah, they're at least the co-favorite. I don't know if DraftKings or any of those books. I'll have to check if they've got odds up right now for the Big 12, but this seems like a two-horse race between Iowa State and TCU. And Iowa State doesn't get TCU at Hilton this year, so maybe that plays a factor in TCU having the slight edge. But either way, I expect both these teams to be in that 15-3 range, which is, it's been a long time since Iowa State's had a regular season like that. So that would be very, very impressive. But the Big 12 is a little bit down this year. I hate to correct you for the second time today on your own show, but it's KU. KU this Saturday, not K-State. So
oh, my bad.
Not a big difference though, because K-State's down this year, which that's another one of those teams that you could count on each and every year being one of those top 5 seeds come March. It doesn't look like they might miss the tournament based off of their non-conference. Yeah. So you've got TCU, you've got Baylor, West Virginia and Oklahoma State are also teams that might be in the mix to be a top 6 seed come March. But other than that, the Big 12 is down, and I would expect Iowa State to have a shot when we enter the last couple weeks of the season.
Hey, Jake, do you know why my wife has never been on the show? Because I don't need somebody here correcting me all the time. Okay, that's why she's. I get.
I'll do better next week.
I get enough of that off the air, if that makes any sense. Not on the air, if that, whatever. So hey, enjoy the holidays. You deserve a break. You guys did a great job, fantastic job with the crazy. I mean, it was last Wednesday. I was like, man, we could have done a whole show with Jake Brend. So as always, I appreciate what you do for our show. The Iowa State fans in the area love you. The Iowa fans in the area probably don't love you too much, but that's okay. Tell people
I hear from them.
Tell people how to check out the Cyclone Fanatic stuff, and you're co-hosting another show today and all those kind of things. Talk to people about how if they want to listen to Jake Brend, how do they get the content?
Yeah, hours and hours worth of content every single week over on Cyclone Fanatic. So Cyclone Fanatic on YouTube is the best place to find my work, but certainly don't ignore all the great work that our team does at CycloneFanatic.com. Iowa Everywhere is the same thing. Got a new basketball show with Andrew Downs where we talk Cy-Hawk. And honestly, Drake and you and I hoops as well with Andrew Downs, and he's a diehard Hawkeye. So if you want to get some of that Hawkeye fix as well, over on Iowa Everywhere on YouTube.
I love it. Hey man, enjoy the holidays. Be good, and we'll catch up with you again soon. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Daz. Merry Christmas.
All right. Merry Christmas to you. Jake Brend joining us right now. And go check out the Cyclone Fanatic. I know a lot of fans here in Eastern Iowa that are Iowa State fans. I appreciate the heck out of Jake Brend coming on the show and balance things out a little bit as we talk a lot of Illinois and Iowa, probably Iowa and Illinois, if that makes any sense right here on OTA. We got a lot more to get to. Yesterday, some big news hitting in the world of high school football. Right as we were getting off the air, that the playoffs in Iowa Illinois expanding and pretty big as well. What does it all mean? What does it look like? What problem is being fixed by it? Mitch Stoermer from View from the West will tell us and inform us and educate us, and we'll work our way through if it's a good thing or a bad thing. All that straight ahead right here on OTA. And Ness Guess coming up in hour number 2 as well. We'll be right back. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Wednesday in the Quad Cities. It's the middle of December. High school football season is over. It was a fun, fantastic year as always. And here we are in the middle of December talking high school football. And the reason why is because a big announcement by the IHSA yesterday now has the playoffs bigger than ever before, solving a problem that I don't know existed before. Let's figure it all out. We turn to our experts from View from the West. Mitch Stoermer and Mitch Stoermer's here. My guy Mitch. I've been a Mitch guy my whole life, and this is why. Mitch, I guess before we get going on like opinions, what actually passed with, I think it was Proposal 19. What does it actually look like? What changes?
Yeah, so every year, the member schools can set forth proposals that they want to see changed in the IHSA bylaws. And I think that's important, first and foremost, is that this was not something that the IHSA came out and said they wanted to implement, because that's not how the IHSA governs. This was a proposal brought on by Monticello High School, and that proposal goes through various stages of voting, legislative changes, all that. Essentially, it's anybody in the IHSA school can vote on this. And what it essentially was proposing was to expand the playoffs. Now, we saw a similar proposal like this from Roxana. Theirs was more of a regional, district-y type of format. This was not that. This had nothing to do, or not as much to do, with the regular season as that one did. But what Proposal 19 essentially, which now has passed, expands the playoffs by 16 teams per class. So that's 128 more teams now in Illinois will get into the playoffs. It does not change seeding per se. Have all been clamoring to do a straight seeding in the playoffs. They have that in 7 and 8A, but we would like to see that in all the classes. That doesn't change that. But what it does, by adding 16 more teams, it expands the field. And what you're going to see are teams with losing records getting into the playoffs, and top seeds in those classes getting a bye week in the quote unquote opening round of the playoffs now.
So if you look at it, usually there's that week before the opening week where teams play scrimmages, get together, do those kind of things. You get sometimes it's against another team. Sometimes it's just the green and white scrimmage, whatever. Those things are no more. And we'll start the season essentially a week earlier. Does that mean practice now starts a week earlier as well?
Yeah, so everything's going to shift up. That moves up the dead week to the week of July 4th. And the big thing that changes with that too, Matt, is the rule used to be you needed to have 12 practices before you could play your first game. That's now down to 9. And when you factor that into moving that schedule up into the summer, now you're going to be monitoring the wet bulb globe. Now you're going to be dealing with hotter days. That week 1 is going to be hot. It's for teams that maybe don't have lights at their field and have to maybe play on a Saturday morning or something. Like it's a mess.
Yeah.
So yes, practices do change quite a bit. Like you mentioned, the week 0 scrimmage, which I think a lot of teams did enjoy and got a lot of benefit of, that's gone. And you are moving more into the summer. You're cutting into summer break. You're cutting into whatever else is going on. State fairs, you're cutting into all of that now, starting immediately. This goes into effect July 1.
You're cutting into John Deere Classic week almost. Come on now. I mean, it's pretty wild the way you look at things when it comes. I guess I've heard different opinions. We'll kind of talk about the opinions and kind of go through this. I don't know what it solves. And I kind of meant that when and I didn't mean it to be mean, but like the big problems around high school football center around that conference district, all of those kind of things, that doesn't change much here. What have you, and I don't think I've seen a coach on social media that's liked it, but it passed by a large margin. I'm trying to figure out why there's such backlash in a negative way, but it was passed pretty easily by the schools.
Yeah, I was trying to think of an analogy all day, and the best one I could think of is they tried to fix a broken leg with a knee pad. Like, it probably serves some sort of purpose, but it doesn't address the problem at all.
Sure.
You know, we've seen issues. We saw it last year in the state finals with a competitive balance that needed to be addressed pretty quickly. And the IHSA took care of that and made changes to the multiplier, and that leveled the playing field a little bit more. Those problems still exist a little bit, but there weren't a ton of, from what we heard, a ton of clamoring for expanding the playoff. The bigger voices have been, let's get to straight seeding to make sure that we can have a more competitive bracket all the way through and get more competitive quarterfinal games, get more competitive semifinal games, get the two best teams potentially in the state championship. That wasn't addressed at all. And I think, too, you have to factor in, since this is open to really anybody in the IHSA, how many schools that don't play football voted on this, either voted for it or didn't vote on it at all. Those are questions that remain unseen. So, yeah, like you said, I think that's the biggest surprise is how wide this margin was when everybody that we talked to today from our local coaches, there are very few who were in favor of it. And the ones that are in favor of it, their reasoning just doesn't click.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. You know, I covered the state of Iowa for 20 some years over at WQED. And before they went to the district play, there were so often where we had to polish a, 1-8 Davenport North, no offense, or West or whatever team it was, going and playing Bettendorf in the first round of the playoffs. I cringe when that kind of stuff is thought of. I love the fact that we get to week 4 or 5, we're already on the instant reacts, or you guys on the View from the West podcast is trying to figure out the path towards the playoffs. That's a big thing. Like when you say you've made the playoffs for so many straight years, or this team hasn't made the playoffs, like the fact that Riverdale, yeah, you don't want to have the drought, but break the drought means more if you break it by winning 5 games. I cringe by the 2-7 teams, the 3-6 teams making it. You brought up a great stat before we started. Take us through that, because you can go back and look at what it would have looked like last year, and a lot of 2-7 teams would have been playing in the postseason, or the postseason. I guess I got to put those quotes around it.
Yeah. Yeah, of the 42 teams across the state that went 2-7 in this current model, 32 would have gotten into the postseason.
Wow.
And that's just, it's wild. And the Friday Night Drive did a good job of putting together what that bracket would have looked like this year had this been in place. And again, I don't want to pick on any teams, but you would see, let's say, a 6-3 NUIC team going up against a 3-6 team from the LLC. That game would have been 56-0 by the third quarter. Like, who does that help? It's great that the sentiment is, let's bring this playoff atmosphere to schools and communities and players that maybe don't get a chance to have that. I totally get that. There's nothing better than Saturday football. but it's special because it was earned, not because it was given to you. And I talked to coaches today that finished 2-7 this year, and of course they say, yeah, it'd be great to get into the postseason, and maybe because we play in a tough league, we could compete against teams from another conference with a better record. I totally get that. But at the same token, they say, but it doesn't feel the same. And that's what we got a lot of today.
So Alleman went, I'll go back to my alma mater, went 1-8 this past season. If they pick up another victory next year, and even by scheduling, they could be in the playoffs. That's an interesting. Yeah. My thought process too is taken away from Alleman, but I think of those Chicago Catholic League teams, and certain ones get in, but the ones that don't get in, like you see the 5 and 4 teams that just get in go make runs to the quarterfinals and all those kind of things. What happens? I mean, that opens it up for a 3 and 6 Chicago Catholic League team to. And I'm not picking on that, but like that's the thing you think of.
No, that's a great point, because for anyone who doesn't follow it, and I truthfully don't know all the nuances to the Chicago Public League, but there's only certain teams that can qualify for the playoffs. It's the way that they're structured, and that remains unknown if more CPL teams will get in, because we saw it in back-to-back years in the Western Big Six, where there was an undefeated CPL team getting a top seed in 4A and 5A, and they just get spanked by a Western Big 16 that got in at 5 and 4. Like, sure. Do we need more 7 and 2 or 6 and 3 CPL teams in the playoffs? Like, no one is asking for that. Nobody at all. And to your point about the CCL, we've already seen a 4 and 5 team get in from the CCL and win a state championship. Nazareth did it a couple years ago. Those are good teams. I'm sure they are in love with this proposal. Now, Mount Carmel and head coach Jordan Lynch have come out opposed to it, but if you're a Bennett Academy who finishes at 3 and 6, now you get in. The regular season just became pretty meaningless when everything's said and done. It doesn't mean anything.
And that's the fun, I think, of what we get to do as high school football media is follow that path to the playoffs, and those kind of things do go away. What are the positives if you talk to a coach that liked it, or if you're just being devil's advocate? I obviously Mitch is not for it. We get that, and I don't think I'm a big fan of it either. And I'm kind of using this as an educational like chat with Mitch to kind of figure out exactly my thought process. I've read a lot about it, but Mitch is, I mean, between you and Greg, do you like? This is big stuff. I mean, you love this kind of things. What are the proponents saying? And then also maybe before that, did you see this coming? Like, I knew the Roxana proposal was out there. When you texted me during the show yesterday and said breaking news, I didn't even know this was a thing. Did you see this kind of coming, or was this like, oh wait, what just happened?
No, I mean, we knew that this proposal had gotten through the opening round and actually gotten onto the ballot, whereas the Roxana proposal did not.
Sure.
But we did not think that this had the legs to not only win, but even be a close race. And that remains to be the mystery. And
it was the opposite. Wasn't close the other way. Wow.
Right. And those voting records aren't public, which is another factor, but beside the point. Proponents that I've seen, and I haven't talked to many, but ones that I've seen, let's take the NUIC conference just as an example, right? Because we've been advocates that a 4 and 5 team from a conference like that would do well against a team from any other conference, even with a much better record. And I think there has been more sentiment like that from other conferences, like the track. The problem with that thinking is the track is not as strong as other conferences. So yeah, maybe you could, maybe a 4 and 5 team or a 3 and 16 from the track could compete with a team of a better record from X conference, whatever. But it's very, very few and far between. And like I mentioned before, the other thing is it does open up the postseason to more communities and teams that don't get to do that ever. And so I can't fault that, but I fall on the side that it's special because it was earned, and they have taken that away. Um, the lure of the bracket unveiling is gone, and I get that the drive for 5 has been tough for some teams, but you know what? Teams that were struggling with that, you go out and you get better. That's it. And that whole mindset just got taken away because now we're handing them out like candy.
Like you just said, I think it meant more in Riverdale if they rebuilt the program and got into the postseason than it did if they just changed they changed the finish line. You know what I mean? It's like there's a huge curve in school, which for students like yourself and myself, we appreciated curves probably back in the day, but it just changed the goalpost and it just made them closer for teams to get into the postseason. As well. You mentioned you talked to some other coaches. You don't have to go on, I don't want names or anything like that. What was their biggest frustration? Was there one common, like, this is what's frustrating about what's going to happen moving forward?
Some of the teams that you would expect to be in those top 8 seeds do not like the bye week, for one. They do not want to have that break in playing. They don't want to lose that momentum. They certainly don't like going earlier in the year. The football season, especially for those good teams, is long enough as it is, and now you're asking to move 1 week closer into the summer. And I don't want to say it verbatim, but one of the quotes that we got was something like, "I can't believe we messed this up this badly." Like, that's how a lot of coaches feel today, that they think that this is going to have the adverse effects of what they think might happen or what voters for this thought would happen, and that the consequences and how this would be executed were not taken into effect when they cast their vote.
This might be a hard question, so I apologize if it is. If so many coaches, and now that's all I'm going to do when I get done with this is text coaches that I know and be like, hey, what do you think? But with that being said, if so many coaches don't like it, but it passed with like a 90% approval rate, is there a disconnect between what the coaches want and what the school wants, or what happens there? Is there just like an athletic director might be voting and the coach gets no say in what he thinks?
Yeah, that absolutely can happen. The people who vote on these are whoever is listed as I don't know if it's called the IHSA representative of the school. That could be a principal, that could be a superintendent, that could be the athletic director. It's very rarely the coach. And yes, we know of examples where the coach did not want this and the school voted for it. I don't know what those conversations are like, but I think you would get that from a few coaches who at least are in the know of how things were voted on, that they might have a different opinion than what the school voted for.
So are you making graphics for the View from the West next year that says like win 2, like playoffs clinched?
Yeah, I thought that would be funny if once they win their second game, I'll start putting out clinched graphics. And I might as well just make them for every team, because that'll save more time and not use, I don't know, 10 of them, because I'm going to be using all of them anyway. So
yeah,
it's a wild thing to think about. It truly is, that this is where we're at. And I wonder how quickly we will either A, get buyer's remorse, or we will B, see conferences come up with a proposal of their own that reverts this back to what we were doing.
My fear, my worry, by the way, Mitch Stoermer joining us from View from the West, one of the greatest podcasts in the history of the world. I think that sounds good. Also, if you're listening to the conversation and you have your thoughts, opinions, all those kind of things, the chat is always lively. It's been more lively of late. And I know y'all have opinions. So if you're a Dan Tomlin listening to the show right now and you want to bash Mitch on the chat, feel free to do that as well. And all these opinions, we want them, because I think you're educating yourselves as you move on and you go with this kind of thing as well. Now I forgot my great question for you, but I will ask this one. How does it affect the Iowa side of the river things? that probably doesn't mess with it too much, because now if you're starting a week earlier, then there's probably only 1 week in which teams are playing before they start their conference stuff. And obviously we're talking mostly about the Western Big Six, but if they're doing week 1, then Iowa's not ready, then only week 2 is available before they got to start playing conference.
Yeah, and certainly that kind of depends on everyone's schedules, but teams that had out-of-state opponents scheduled completely changes how they can do that, and they have to start working on that pretty much right now to get those shifted. A good example of that is Lena Winslow, who currently has a week 1 game scheduled with Darlington out of Wisconsin, who is the their equivalent in Wisconsin state champion, the lowest level in Wisconsin state champion. And then they were going to play in week 2 against the 2A state champion in Wilmington. From what we understand, Lee Wynn wants to keep the Darlington game, and that's going to sacrifice the Wilmington game. So what we know right now, Lee Wynn in Wilmington is off the table because of this. So yeah, and I don't know if, I would assume that Geneseo and Davenport Assumption had a game scheduled for this upcoming year.
I'm assuming
I can't
week
say
2?
if that's, I can't say if that's still on, because with Illinois moving up a week, that changes everything.
My fear too, Mitch, is that a lot of times when you do these kind of things, there's that old analogy, once the toothpaste is out of the bottle, you can't put it back in. That's the thing I get worried about. And it's kind of that way with college football. When you get to a certain point when everything is crazy and it becomes a wild, wild west, you can't go backwards. And I don't know if that's probably a little extreme, because like comparing it to college football is a little much. But is there a worry that like once you do this, it's going to be hard to take it away from some schools, especially if 90% or whatever were for it? I'm shocked by the way how not close it was, if that makes any sense.
So yes and no, because of the way that the IHSA is structured, and member schools can bring up proposals every single year. In theory, someone could propose next year, we revert back to how things were, they get enough support, and it could go into effect the very next year. That is possible. Now, how that would come to be, like you mentioned, if these teams that are sitting with a losing record now and voted for this so they could get into the postseason, and they get into the postseason and maybe don't want to change their vote, something catastrophic would have to happen. And that's what I'm afraid you could see. If it's teams opting out of that opening round game, if it's teams not being able to field enough players because they don't want to start that early in the summer, or if it's digging into summer vacations, or if it's digging into state fairs or other sports, whatever. I think that's the only way that maybe teams that voted for this reverse their position. And it would have to be, if it got to that catastrophic like event, like that's not good for anybody. So you hope that it doesn't get there, but that might be the only way that some of those schools that voted for this reverse their position. But it could happen.
Last couple for you. Greg did a good job on his Twitter. Hey, it's Greg, to kind of putting his thoughts out. And I agree with a lot of them. What I was confused by, it's not going to make the season go any later, is it? He mentioned, like players opting out for different sports or stuff like that. It really doesn't change that, because it's not going to affect. And now one thing it does, which sounds crazy, is maybe in my mind, if you're putting football earlier, so many kids do AAU basketball during the summer, or they're playing baseball during the summer, and now they have to make a decision 1 week earlier. Hey, do I want to go play football if it's my secondary sport? And right now the specialization of sports drives me crazy anyways, because everyone thinks they're going to go play in the NFL or major leagues or whatever, that they quit playing other sports because they got to focus on that sport. But is that a concern that like it's going to overlap with some summer stuff that could prevent players from wanting to play football?
Yeah, probably on the front end of the schedule, because to my knowledge, everything will still finish up the weekend of after Thanksgiving as it does right now. And you brought up the AAU stuff. There's so much of youth sports today and that model that people despise. And it seems like this decision kind of moves IHSA football into that model where we're trying to get more teams involved and more games involved. And I just don't think that that's the right call. It doesn't, like you kind of mentioned, it doesn't solve a problem that existed. And one of the comments that we saw, and we talked about this off air, like, why does football have to be different? Why is football the only sport that not everyone qualifies for? Because football is different. Because there aren't as many schools that play football, because you have a shorter season, because of safety issues.
Yeah.
You watch a football game and a baseball game and you tell me how those two sports are different. It just is. You can't have a postseason tournament, a regional, a sectional, a super sectional, where you're playing 3 games in 3 days. You can't do that in football. That's why it's different. And so you're going to see 2-7, 3-6 teams get in. They're going to get into the opening round. They're going to get blown out. And for what? Because the playoff experience is so great? I don't know. I don't see it that way.
It's going to make covering it, like, if I think back to my TV days and that first round of the playoffs, there's going to be so many teams playing because you just expanded it even more. We look at it. I remember making lists of the area teams in the viewing area that made it and going like, how are we going to get this amount of teams covered? And now you just expanded it even more. Good luck, Cuff. Good luck, Jay. Good luck, people who go do those. That's going to make it even more.
Well, and you know what's ironic is when we've talked about having this straight seating, this 1 through 32, the pushback is always, well, the teams won't travel that far, which we all know is a lie. And now we're asking those parents that are of 2-7 teams that just had to sit through 9 games, 7 of which you lost, go on the road for how long you're going to a playoff game for, to get blown out. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Are those kids even going to be interested in that? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I don't get it. I just don't.
I hate being negative. I hate ending it on that note, but that's exactly like it. Now I did get now. And again, give us your opinions, and we'll continue this. I'm gonna reach out to some coaches and all those kind of things. We got some more shows before the holidays. We'll continue to chat, but it's amazing, Mitch, that football's king, and it's king in the NFL and college. And like that news broke yesterday, and my social media was all about like, what does it mean? All of those kind of things. So I appreciate you coming on and educating everybody. If you don't agree with Mitch, it's View from the West. Or reach out. What's your social? You're at View from the West. That's you basically. So, get after him on that. But we'll continue to kind of expand this and explore this as it goes on. So, happy holidays, man. Do you guys got, like, real quick? I'll give you all the quick questions I've been asking people. Favorite Christmas movie?
Yeah. Garfield Christmas.
Say it again. It's Garfield Christmas.
Garfield Christmas from, I think, 1988. Mm-hmm.
What? Only you would have something like that. Christmas music, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm pro putting on like a Christmas jazz album on Christmas Day.
But that's
I don't need the pop song. I don't need the pop song. It's fine. Like, it's fine. But just throw on some Christmas jazz and just background. I'm okay with that.
When I asked my wife, like, hey, can I go out with my buddies and we're going to go, whatever. We're going to go to the casino or whatever. And she goes, it's fine. That's fine. You know what that means? Like you just said, that's fine. That means no is what it means. So you gave us the frustrated wife. That's fine. That's fine. Just go.
No, Christmas music is fine. That's all.
All right. That's good. Eggnog, thumbs up, thumbs down.
No. Mm-mm.
Favorite Christmas gift you've ever gotten? It can be last year. It could be when you were 5.
Put me on the spot. I'll just say anything that the kids can hand make. I'll give the dad answer.
Oh, look at you. I want something electronic and cool. No, I'm just kidding. I go back to my youth with those kind of things. So, hey, man, have a good holiday. I'm ready for you whenever you need it. So, like, if you want to hop on, if you're off again, all those kind of stuff, we're trying to get through the holidays.
Let me say this. I cannot believe you didn't invite me on when Notre Dame got snubbed out of the playoffs. That show would have done numbers, and you would have needed the bleep button because I would have been on fire that day.
I'm surprised you didn't watch because I think we would have argued a little bit. Him beat me, buddy.
I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that anytime.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, I will be available next week, host the first round game. So if you need someone to talk to college football about some first round reactions, I will be available for that.
I already got a text message. I think I told you from Brian Stacking. He's available the 23rd and 24th. I'm not having a show on Christmas Eve.
Make sure you schedule him for the Christmas Eve episode and just leave him hanging.
Only if he dresses like Santa. If he dresses like Santa, I will do a show if he dresses like Santa. Mitch, I appreciate it. Honestly, have a great holidays. We'll catch up again real soon.
You too. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Mitch Stoermer from View from the West. It's a big story. Again, the IHSA expanding the playoffs, so they'll start a week earlier. No more scrimmages. So I think it's August 20th will be the first game, our first week of the season. And they expanded them out so that a lot more teams get in. And it'll make things much more interesting, a different landscape when it comes to like 2-7, 3-6 teams getting into the postseason in the state of Illinois. So, and again, give us your feedback. Go to the chat on YouTube, X, all those kind of things. Love to know your thoughts. I'm still waiting for somebody to let me know that they love this idea. So if you do, get on there and let me know why. Maybe I'm missing something. So anyways, we got more to get to. You're watching OTA right here on a Wednesday in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back.
Give me the keys. Learning to drive can be stressful for both the student and, yes, the parent as well. Relax. There's an easy way to avoid the stress. Skiles Driving School in East Moline has been helping new drivers hit the road with confidence for over 20 years. Whether you're a teen earning your first license or an adult looking for behind-the-wheel training, we've got you covered. Their certified instructors are patient, experienced, and use modern vehicles equipped for safety and comfort. From classroom instruction to real-world driving, we make learning safe, affordable, and even fun. Call 309-278-0098 or visit skylesdriving.com. Skiles Driving School. Get in, buckle up, drive your future forward.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Wednesday in the Quad Cities. Wednesday means Ness Guess Day, and you are as festive as ever, Mr. Ness.
Well, it's Ugly Sweater Day at Quad Cities Christian, and how appropriate for the Ness Guess on a Wednesday, because for the second week in a row, we have stocking winners.
I know it.
And I have stockings. My wife actually made this.
I hope.
If you believe it or not.
Did she really?
Yeah. It's got QCCS.
Yeah.
I look like a chimney.
I like it.
So, yeah.
It's a good look.
I wear it once a year.
And this is perfect because of the stockings. We'll get to the stocking here in a second because it's a family affair here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo and Ness Guess. If you don't know what Ness Guess is, first off, shame on you. This is Mark Nessler. He's a legend.
We're in week 16.
Yes. So where have you been? But Ness Guess is a great contest that's been, 37 years going.
Years, 38th year now.
Yes.
So I get to add a year now.
Took 6 or 7 years off.
One of
the two.
And
then we're back and going once again. The loser between the two of us takes a pie in the face. It's not looking good for me. I'm down 9, but I picked up 1 this week.
But you were down 14.
Yes.
3 weeks ago. You've won 3 weeks in a row.
I don't know if I got enough time to get there.
See, and you're having this taped on a Tuesday, which is good luck for me, because you throw the book at weird stuff like having it on a Wednesday, adding Friday games.
Last week was bad. Last week I was behind all week, so thank you for everyone who got in late because the link came out late. That will not happen this week. But yeah, no, it was a fun week, and we have
a weird week.
Yeah, it was. So like you took the Patriots.
We had 5 different.
Yeah,
and you had 4 favorites. Okay. So I'm thinking, okay, I could lose all 4, and I'd win that Panthers-Saints game and lose 3, and I'm still up 7. But anyway, I had the Patriots.
They were up 21-0 at home,
and I had the Panthers, which I thought were going to win.
Yeah, I like my pick there. Nobody wants to win the NFC
Bears.
South.
I was confident on the Bears.
Yeah, I had the Bears.
Even though they're an underdog. Oh,
I picked the
we
Bears
both
too.
picked the Bears.
Bengals, Packers.
Bengals, I felt good about because they beat them the first. They got spanked. It
Yeah.
was not even close.
Yeah.
Ravens are hot, by the way.
I was feeling like, so basically in the early games, if the Chiefs
That's
could have,
another
and
one.
they were driving to
Yeah.
tie the game
And then Mahomes
when
got
Mahomes
hurt.
tore his
Yeah.
ACL. So
Right.
like, here's the way I look at the season. I've lost so many times on the Chiefs at home. And if you would have told me that to start the season, I would have said, well, so be it. Like, if I'm going to go out with that, that's the way it's going to happen. But we're going to keep grinding. We have some college games this week. And then we have, of course, a full slate of NFL games to get to. I do want to talk about this for a second because we have our weekly winner. But I want to go back to last week real quick. And, of course, I knew he would. So here's the Brian Stocking won last week.
Yes.
And we knew that he was that he had won before. And sure enough,
he won. What year? How old was he?
Hold on, you're going to know all about it.
How old was he? I was going to say 12 or 13, 14.
Because here's the thing with Stockpile
just a kid.
I'm snuggling down, getting ready to go to bed, and then here's
Texas you at 11:30 p.m.
I mean, whenever he's watching it, he's like,
he's 50 years old now. He's 50?
Yes.
There's no way. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, he just turned not earlier this year. He's probably getting closer to 51. He's like, let me see here. This is okay. I'm 50 years old. I make my picks. Then Mother Stockpile makes hers. We don't work together or share notes.
Okay.
Because we talked about last week.
Yeah.
So he wants to let it be known.
Okay, yeah, and I would because
this is the third time that Brian Stocking has won in his life.
Wow.
He won Ness Guess for the first time back in 1990. Isn't that awesome?
35 years ago. So that was like the second year of the contest.
He was 15 years old when he won the previous times. So he must have won twice in 1990, which is crazy.
Oh, yeah, twice in a year.
Yeah.
I kind of.
And then he's like, send me the link. He was like, I need
Send me
it.
the link.
So last week it was Brian Stocking.
We were in the old downtown Moline building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this week we're like, okay, well, we joked last week because Mother Stockpile got second. And we're like, hey, Karen is her name, but I call her Mama Stockpile. Mother Stockpile.
I call her
Mother Stocking as well.
Stocking number one.
There you go, because she's
Brian's
number one in our
number two.
heart. Yeah, exactly. So we said, maybe she can win. This week's winner
She was runner-up. And Karen Stocking won this week with a 13-3 record, which is crazy. She was the only one to miss only 3 games. We had 2 that missed 4. That's Ryan McGinnis and Scott Anderson.
Yeah.
And there were 3 at 11 and 5.
Yeah, it was a tough week.
That was Tom Kakert.
Yes.
And Jeff Schneider, Major League Baseball player, right?
I love the fact that it's familiar names each and every week.
And Andy Furman.
Yes.
Really? That one?
Yep.
Good.
That's the, that's another fantastic sponsor of the show.
Oh, nice.
That's Godfathers.
Oh, yes.
That's Godfathers.
And I collected my coupon, my gift certificate for the NCAA tournament I won.
Yeah. So that's, another, and you know what we're going to do? And we got to get it out quick. In fact, you might be hearing about it on the show today.
Bowls?
We're going to do
Bowl
a playoff bracket.
Oh, a playoff
for
bracket.
college football.
Oh, really?
With a sponsor,
Okay.
we'll get it out today. Hopefully, we're
help
trying
with
to.
that. I can help. I'm
It's
good at that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. I love how I produce my show on air with you most weeks. We talked about what we're going to do next week because we got to figure out next week yet. But it's a bunch of fun. So congratulations to the Stockings
family. They could have a Hungry Hobo together, like a family meal.
That's 100%
on us.
Yes,
Or
I love it.
On Hungry Hobo.
Exactly. So once again, thank you to Hungry Hobo. Obviously, a great sponsor of Off Day with Matt Randazzo, but also a fantastic exclusive sponsor of the Ness Guess Pick'em contest. And it goes back, Ness, because you go back back at the newspaper and the Hungry Hobo 11.
Yeah.
It was just you guys. When we thought to bring this back, it was
promotion.
Right.
That was our biggest promotion
I went
ever.
right to Price Bowie and was like, hey, let me talk to you about this because I know that Hungry Hobo and Mark Nessler go hand in hand, so it worked out great.
We won an innovative Associated Press award, which I offered to Price, and he said, "No, you just keep it."
Yeah.
Because on my shelf, and I'm thinking, it's a Hungry Hobo award. So I still have it if he would like to display it in his Rock Island store.
Yeah. No, all the awards that Ness has, he doesn't need another. So it is.
I'm getting to the age where I just got to get rid of stuff rather than add stuff.
We talked about it last week. I'm grinding a little bit. I'm getting close, but I need to have a big week.
Yeah.
So
I'm up by 9, 3 weeks to go.
Yes.
But I was up by 14 just 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you've chipped away. And I've kind of played loosey-goosey. Like last week, I gave you 4 favorites, which I wouldn't do unless I was up by 10. And now I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was just picking. But now I'm start thinking.
Yeah.
I'm start thinking because I know Carson, he was going to give a pie or take a pie, right?
Yep.
So he's saying no more of that loosey goosey
Yes,
stuff.
he says only 3
Don't
weeks
be giving
left.
him any more of those 6 or 7 favorites. See, so
So we got a big week this week.
Yep.
We got plenty of games to get to. We have some college football back
There's
in
a-
it. 3 games. There's 4, but we're not doing the Friday game,
Right,
which might be the
Oklahoma,
best game.
Alabama.
Oklahoma,
Yeah, that
Alabama.
is the best one.
But we want to make that deadline an extra 24 hours. I don't want Ness complaining about something else.
No more
that
excuses. Yeah, exactly.
So,
'Cause if I lose that one, I would complain.
So the 3 games for the Bulls are
Miami and Texas A&M.
Yep.
Tulane and Ole Miss.
Yep.
And James Madison, Oregon.
Yeah.
Which I know you're thinking about James Madison.
Not
I think
any
you probably
I'm one of
went to
those
school
guys-
with a James Madison.
I'm one of those guys that I'm mad that James Madison's in it. I want the best 12
Yeah, I
teams in
agree.
football. I don't mind one Tulane, like a team like
But
Tulane,
2
but
out of
like
the-
2 out of the 10
Yeah,
shouldn't be
that's
teams that I've
100%.
never watched play a
Right.
college football game with the amount of good teams that are available. So
I
let's
agree.
pick out and talk about Texas A&M, Miami.
Okay.
That's a Saturday game, an early game. Miami's that team that didn't know if they'd get in or not. A lot of Notre Dame fans are rooting
Yeah.
against them because they probably took
Yeah.
that spot. Maybe Alabama
probably
as
did.
well.
Yeah.
But it was 2 of those 3. And
Alabama
and
got in, though, didn't they?
Alabama got
They
in.
played Oklahoma.
Miami got in. The one that did not get in is
Notre
Notre
Dame?
Dame. So
Yeah.
they play Texas A&M from the SEC. Fantastic school. Your thoughts on Miami versus Texas A&M?
I like Texas. Well, I watched Texas A&M. I lost, I think, on them a couple weeks
Yeah,
ago,
against
maybe.
Texas. Yep.
Texas. So I watched them, and I was impressed. I was impressed with their defense. And I think they're at home now.
Yeah.
Isn't that College Station? Is that what?
Yeah.
A&M, yeah, College
Yeah.
Station. So I think with that crowd and with that, the way I think defense is the key of any playoff, whether it's NFL or college. I'm going to go with A&M, the Aggies.
It's a good pick. It's a 3.5-point favorite. And
Yeah.
I mean, I should go
should.
opposite of you,
You should.
because at this point I should. But
You could.
But Miami's big win came in August against Notre Dame.
Well,
Like,
they're,
it's
they're
been
due
that-
for another
that
one.
long ago
They're due for
since
another one.
I did see this week. So Iowa has 2 AP first team All-Americans. The only other school that has 2 first team All-Americans is Miami.
There you go.
Give me Miami.
That's all.
And I hate it.
what
I
I'm
hate
talking
it,
about.
but that's
But you know what? That's going to be the one. That's going to be the one that you catch up.
You know
on.
what? I'm to a point where I can't
Yeah.
just keep I can't.
And it's worked for you a couple weeks in a row. Like Indiana,
Yeah.
Ohio State
Yep.
worked for you.
Yeah.
There was a college game last.
I just
was
wish
it
it
last week that you had
I just
a college game?
No,
it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where if I don't do it now, yes, I might not lose a game to you, but at the point where I only got so much time left, so I got to make a push.
And I'm going to tell you something else, Dazzle. The NFL games are so close, so
Yeah.
tight. I cannot afford to take all of the favorites, which is my game plan.
Yes.
I'm going to see how many underdogs you can take this week, but I really can't do that this week.
I remember there was a year where we were competing against each other, and I ended up with the pie in the face, and I got out to a little bit of a lead. And I played conservative. I kept taking favorites,
Yeah.
and you had to be the aggressive one,
Yep.
and you came back and beat me.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I'm so far behind. Okay, so
Could be
the
it.
other 2 games we're not
By the
going
way,
to talk
Jesus
about
saves
today.
is a hat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Riley Green, saw him
Yeah.
on Friday night at Resort World. It was a free concert, thanks to Hilton. Thank you, Hilton. But yeah, we had a meet and greet, which turned out to just be a meet.
Yeah.
Meet and greet, I was all fired up because the newspaper guy I am.
Yeah.
I had like 6 or 7. I had 6 or 7 questions ready to go.
You should see his face.
I
He's
know.
like,
I ready to go, and I had them kind of like ready on my cell.
Yeah.
And that we get in, they said no autographs, no questions. What?
So you just basically got to say hi.
So no, you click, take a picture, and
no
cattle herd 'em
questions.
out.
While you're taking a picture, couldn't you have asked one
I
little
could
question?
have, yeah. That's what I did with like Willie Mays, Joe DiMaggio, Pete Rose, all of those guys.
Yeah.
And one time was it Joe DiMaggio? Joe DiMaggio, they said you get 1 question and 1 autograph. Well, I paid for the guy's autograph behind me.
Yeah.
Because I had 2 questions
Yeah.
for my newspaper story. So I asked my question. I hung around at the table, listened to his question, and wrote my story.
Oh, that's amazing.
Based on 2 questions. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That was in Galesburg.
The wily veteran that it is. So yeah, and how was Vegas?
Vegas was 70 degrees. The Sphere is tremendous. The best concert I've ever been to. Zach Brown Band. And it could have been.
And you've
Eagles
seen Zach Brown Band
41 now 42 times. Sorry, truth.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That is amazing.
But and Chesney's been there. Eagles have been there.
How many years has that 42 years been over?
Well, we saw our first one in 2010 when our grandson was born.
So about
on June
15 years.
Mid-June.
But you're still averaging like
years,
almost 3 a year.
Almost 3 a year.
Was there a year that you went the most? Like there was one year that you went like 6 times or 7?
I think 5 might have been the most, maybe 4. But it's consistently Jimmy Buffett was like 60.
Yeah.
60
No, I know
times.
that. Yeah. I remember when you used to be at the paper.
Yeah.
And it'd be like Ness is on vacation. I'm like, what is he at a Buffett concert again? They'd like, yep.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, that's it. So, well, no, did besides music and all that kind of stuff.
Wizard of
how
Oz.
but
Saw the Wizard of Oz too.
But you're in Vegas.
Yeah.
Did you leave poorer or did you leave?
I came back richer.
Hey!
And even better. So I sit down.
I loved your face. You're surprised, aren't you?
Yeah, no kidding. I sit down. My first machine is one of those Buffalo ones, and I played 3 75-cent spins.
Okay.
3, 1, 2, 3. On the third one, Buffalo, all the way across, and it just starts ringing up $247.
There you go.
My Wizard of Oz tickets were paid for on my very first machine.
That's nothing wrong with
great?
that.
So
Nothing
we got
wrong
to
with
see
that
Wizard
at
of
all.
Oz for free.
I love it. Okay, let's take some NFL picks.
Okay.
We're gonna start with the one that's on Saturday night.
What? Oh, there is?
Bears Packers or Saturday night?
Man, I didn't.
There's a Saturday afternoon game as well.
Yeah, there's 2
So
games
the
on
deadline
Saturday.
is 11 a.m. on Saturday. That's
Okay.
when the college football first game starts. So we're okay with that. I'm going to be ahead of schedule this week, and I'm going to get things done correctly and ahead of schedule. But
the Bears and
Packers are Saturday night. So do you want to go first?
I go first.
Okay.
Because Parsons, the Packer defensive end, is out. And I always say you always want to bring the best versus the best. But I think that Green Bay's playing a little short-handed there. And the way Caleb Williams is just like he's doing really well. I don't know if you say dominating, but he's much better than he was last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just think that at home and the need to win, I mean, they're looking down the road. They have Commanders next week. Is that right?
They have at San Francisco.
At San Francisco, and then the Lions
at
and
home.
that's it.
Yep.
Okay.
So if they win their next 2 games, it doesn't matter.
Ooh, that'd be nice for your Lions if they get in the wild card, right?
No, because they
No?
probably win the division.
Well, the Bears would win. The Lions.
Lions need to win out and then have the Packers or the Bears lose 2 games.
Oh.
Now the easy thing is for the Lions is you hope
was
you
tough
hope the
loss
Bears
last
lose.
week. Yeah.
And then you have your fate in your own hand because you play them on week 17.
So does this game matter for the Lions?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You
want the Bears to lose.
Who do I want? I don't know if I told you what I
right?
want to have happen, but I can't say it on television. But I want bad things to happen to everybody. But with that being said, I'm rooting for the Packers, and it's not my hatred for the Bears because then the Bears get their loss out of the way, and
True.
then the Lions just have to win.
Well, I'll do you a favor. I will take the Bears.
Yeah.
So that you can take the team that you feel like you have. You can
Yeah.
actually cheer in that game. Man. You can cheer. Go
No,
Packers.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. I think the Bears win. I'm taking the Packers.
Yeah, good.
And if I would love the Packers if Micah Parsons was playing. I would love the Packers if Micah. And we talked about it earlier this week on the show. And I'll ask you the question. We had a poll question. If the Bears, I think if you lose Micah Parsons, I don't think the Packers can win the Super Bowl anymore. I'm not saying they can't win the division, they can't make the playoffs. I just don't think they can win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Jordan Love's the same type of guy for the Lions. You can't lose Hutchinson. You can't lose Goff.
Yep.
You can't there's certain quarterback
agree,
/
100%.
stud defensive guy, mainly quarterback wise. Who's the guy that the Bears
Can't
do without?
Wow.
And I mean, obviously, and the poll came down to Caleb
Can I
Williams.
say Santos?
Right, as long as he's the poll said they came up. Caleb Williams was the
Yeah,
and I understand that because he's a starter.
You have to have Caleb
But
Williams.
you remember after 2 weeks of the year, everybody wanted Tyson Bagent to start because they're 0-2.
No, not now.
So,
We're
I
at the
think
point.
the best part of the Bears is their offensive line.
Yeah.
So Joe Tooney or somebody like that, I don't
Yeah.
think you
well,
can
look what
miss
happened
out.
to the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs had offensive linemen go
Yeah.
down and
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
and down, and look what happened. and Mahomes actually got hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, you just so many injuries.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like if you take the offensive line collectively, that's a really good point.
Yeah, because I think that's the difference between last year and this year. I don't think Caleb has made the huge jump.
Well,
he's fine. I'm not saying
he made the huge jump because of the offensive line.
It's so much easier to run the football and all those kind of stuff, play action, all those kind of things. So not bashing Caleb, but it's a funny, weird situation because, and you look at like the Lions. Just getting down a rabbit hole, but they lost their 2 safeties. Yeah. Both are all pros. They lost Sam Laporta. Both are all pros. He's an all pro. So, like, I don't know if the Bears roster is full of all pros yet.
Probably not.
So, like, point. So I was sitting there going, like, what's the last year, and the Lions went 15-2. But when they lost Aiden Hutchinson, I knew deep down inside, I'm that's going to catch up with them. And I think that's the way it is with the Packers. So, with that being said, I still and the Browns. Did you watch the Browns-Bears game at all?
No, because I was.
Okay, so the Bears. Yeah, you were in Vegas.
I was flying. I was at the airport.
So. Yes, the Bears played 31-3.
Yeah,
the Bears were. I mean, the Browns were so bad.
Oh, they just are.
They were just like Shadur suit. Yeah. I mean, that was a. So with that being said, I think that place is gonna be jumping. It's a Saturday night game.
Saturday night game.
But I'll just
Saturday night game.
Yeah, in general, give me the Packers with the hopes that they can figure out that defense. And here's the thing, Micah Parsons was really good against the pass. But he still wasn't amazing against the run. And the Bears want to run the football. So hopefully it doesn't hurt him that way. I'll begrudgingly take.
So the way this is going, I like it because our first 2 different picks, it kind of gives me some leeway because I know there's some.
You can be a gunslinger.
There's some underdogs down there that I really like. Down here, I rate them 16-1.
I look at your homework.
Yeah, my homework, and I have to do that in a day. But my down here, and I might flip flop. Well, like the Chiefs Titans. With Mahomes out, I mean, are the Titans that bad?
And it's in Tennessee.
In Tennessee, I think. Yeah. So I don't know.
All right,
what game do you got next?
So that takes. I always do the Bears and the
that
Packers.
Takes care of Bears and Packers.
Let's do Lions Steelers.
Ooh,
that's a good game. The Steelers are in first place. They've won 2 straight. They beat the Ravens.
Yeah.
They beat they beat the Dolphins last week.
Yeah, and Rodgers looking pretty good.
Yes, and I think it's a later.
Looking good.
I'm trying to my computer.
Fine.
I think it's a later game on Saturday.
Sunday.
I should know these.
I can look it up.
I think it's a 3:25. Yep, 3:25.
Okay.
In Detroit.
Oh, it's in Detroit. Okay.
Both teams are 8-6, as we mentioned. Lions have to win out and then get help.
Oh, by the way,
by some team.
Speaking of okay, so last night or Monday night, one team 6-7. One team 7-6. That's what I'm talking about. See, Carson's all excited. So what does national TV do? They put the head coaches, Tomlin and the Dolphins head coach, side by side, and they post their records, and the coaches are going.
I love it.
Unbelievable. I thought of Carson. I said right there.
You know what I got the most text messages for on that game last night? And it was after the game, and I didn't realize it. They talked to Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
And as they left, they panned off and they showed Logan Lee hugging someone.
Oh, nice.
And like I had kind of not paid attention, and all of a sudden looked at my phone. There was like 5 or 6 text messages like, "Did you see Logan?" So I mean, he's an amazing human being. We love Logan Lee. So and he was on the field playing football last night, which was awesome to see. So that was fantastic as well. We got to get him back on the show after the.
No kidding.
So as much as I love Logan Lee, your pick for this game when it comes to the Lions and the Steelers,
I have a very high confidence in the Detroit Lions.
God bless you.
They're at home. They need to win.
Yep.
Steelers really need to win too.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think, I don't know. Sometimes I look at the Steelers and I wonder how they win.
Yeah.
Because I just don't see them as the bulldog that some of those other teams in the AFCs are.
Yeah.
And Rodgers is like 89 years old. 67 years
old.
Well,
it was 3-0 until the very and then they scored a touchdown like with 17 seconds to go.
It was 7-3 when I fell asleep, and I woke up and it was 28-3.
Yes,
that's what I missed.
Yes, no,
so you'll have to tell me all
about
about it.
Same thing. I had to do. I had to do some work up at the office. It was
at
halftime. It was 7-3, and then I turned it over and it was 28-15 final. I'm like, geez, they scored 21 points in the second half. Because I was watching that game going, I'm not that worried anymore. I don't think they're good. Okay, I am going with Detroit. They have not. Their last 15 times they've lost a football game, they've won the next game.
Oh, there you go.
They haven't
That's a nice
lost.
stat.
They haven't lost back-to-back games in 3.5 years. So, and they've been, and then recently they won 4 straight early in the year, and they've gone win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. So I do feel pretty decent about the Lions this week. There's some really good games, Ness.
There is. That's what I'm saying. There's.
Oh, let's go. New England at Baltimore.
Yep.
Thoughts?
That's down at the bottom.
I didn't do that on purpose because I got one more. We'll do 4.
I had a lot of faith in New England up until last week.
Yeah.
And they were beating the Bills, and I thought this is a good one to put the Bills out of put them in the rearview mirror.
I when it was 21-0, I took the Bills plus 14.5, and then I also sprinkled a little bit on the Bills money line.
That's nice.
And so it was, and I had them in this. So
wow, yes, all day. The Ravens. I have a student in my Algebra 1 class that loves the Ravens. And every Monday morning, he's in my first period, and that's all he wants to talk about is the Ravens. Lamar this and Lamar that. And so I'm kind of leaning toward Ravens. The Patriots, that was a game they just need to have for a lot of reasons. And you can't hurt me like that and expect me to come back the next week and pat you on the back, get it pat.
Yeah, I see what you did.
I didn't see what I did until I said it. But I'm going to go Ravens. Very, very low confidence, as you can see.
Yeah.
Are they an underdog? Do you know?
I didn't even look.
I was curious as to who's even favored in that game. Is that
It's 11-3 at 7-7.
What? Oh, it's. It's the 7. It's the night game.
It's the night game, my friend.
Oh, Baltimore by 3. Okay, so I'm taking a favorite. That makes me feel a little better. I would have thought the Patriots would have been closer than that.
Yeah,
like maybe 1.5, not 3. So I'll go the Ravens.
I got to yell at my kid to stop it and get away. All right, so I will go. I was going to go Ravens. I will switch,
Patriots?
and I will go Patriots. It was a coin flip if I had to. I think the Ravens are a good football team.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm invested on them winning the Super Bowl this year.
Wow.
And I don't think it'll happen, but if they get in, who knows in the AFC?
Yep.
Like so give me the 11-3 team. If this is the case, if I need to pick up a game,
it's a great game.
And if they're well coached, I mean, Vrabel's kind of a Dan Campbell type of guy where you got their attention, you blew a big lead,
that's one
they
of those
refocus
games that
and get back on.
There's like 4 or 5 games down here they can go either way, and that's one of them, definitely. Yeah. And you just kind of on the ones that I'm not sure about. I could flip flop any of these.
I'm not looking at your thing,
I don't want
but
you to.
I'll say this: the one I want to look at, San Francisco at the Colts, Monday Night Football.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think of Grandpa Rivers?
Grandpa Rivers, I couldn't believe that he could still move and pass.
Yeah, well, he looks he looks a little more like an offensive lineman than he does a quarterback these days. But
wow, just wow.
Yeah.
How old is he?
Is he 44 years old.
That's what I thought. 44 years
old.
old.
Isn't that nuts? One of my kids is like, Dad, he's almost as old as you. I'm like, no, I'm 46.
Oh wow. See, you can do that.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get back. Well, maybe I'll go back to TV. No, I'm not gonna do that. That doesn't sound much.
I think the 49ers win easily.
Okay.
I just do. I mean, I think that they're probably the one team that's on a roll the most. I mean, they've won quite a few in a row.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
49ers.
They are 10-4 on the season. How about that division?
Game. And it's on the road. They're on the road.
How about that division too?
Yeah,
that division has, and the Thursday night game is the best game. We're not going to put it on there.
They lost to the Rams. They lost to the Texans. The Bucs was one they should have had, but they lost.
Those NFC West guys those teams have an easy schedule because they're playing the AFC South and the NFC South.
Okay.
So those are like the easy. I mean, you're looking at some pretty easy games.
Yeah, but the Colts. I mean, Taylor would have to have a killer game.
Yeah.
And I guess it's possible, but I just think, I don't know if Rivers even survives the day.
That's the thing.
I mean, it's on Monday Night Football. Great way to go out and retire for good. I don't know.
So you are officially?
I'm officially taking the 49ers.
I will take the home team.
Are you? Really?
I'm not even doing the opposite of it. Give me the home team on Monday Night Football.
That's
I feel like
crazy.
The Colts. You're telling me that the Colts were Daniel Jones and that's it?
I think Daniel.
I think Jonathan Taylor. They were close last week.
But even
on
Jonathan
the road.
Taylor's had some up and downs. I mean, he should have been dominant. He was an MVP.
Shouldn't he be better his second start back at home? instead of on the road. His first start back after 5 years in retirement was on the road in Seattle.
And they
I don't want to convince you. I'm not convincing you otherwise because you're already
I'm
locked in.
I'm locked in, but standings wise,
And they need it badly.
Yeah,
they're going to go from the number 1 seed in the AFC to not making the playoffs almost.
Yeah, they're 8
because the Texans are ahead of them now.
Jaguars
are both ahead of them.
They're not going to make it. I think that's another reason why. And the 49ers.
Give me the desperate team at home on Monday Night Football, and I'd love to see the Niners lose just to kind of bring them back because they're a wild card team right now. So let's see if we can pile up.
Yes.
Then the next week when it's Niners and Bears, either team loses and I'm okay with. So hopefully that's the way it goes. I'm thinking
that's not a game I thought you'd go with.
Yeah, well we got 1, 2, 3 different already.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the thing is, I loved what I had last week,
and we're gonna have 3 or 4 different on the ones that we don't talk about.
Okay, so 9. I need 3 this week.
Yeah, you got.
I can't be like
go
8.
3, 3, and 3.
Yeah, I do. I have to. So anything more than that is gravy. But I'll go 3.
That means you need to have an odd number. 5-1 gets you 4.
Yeah.
No, that's 6. 4-1 gets you 3.
Yeah.
So if you go 4-1, which I thought you were going to do last week, I was right
there. I was right there.
I was shocked. I thought I was prepared to lose 3.
I wish the NFL played 25 weeks just so I could get back in this. And I'm more excited for next year than ever before.
And you have college games next week and the week after too.
Yeah, so we'll build up a little bit.
That's where you kind of pick up some
I thought about adding Illinois State Villanova in the FCS, whatever it is, but I didn't put that on there. So
you've been doing well in college.
Yeah. So hey, we got 3 weeks left. Next week we're going to get this thing out. We're going to do a show. I have a few ideas I'm going to talk to Ness about when we get done with this. So, but the link will be out. When you're watching this, I already got the link out now. So
it'll be on my page too.
Yeah, so get on his page too. Get involved. Saturday at 11 o'clock, the winner wins great food from Hungry Hobo.
And I got 2 more stockings. Just saying, are there other stockings?
I don't need Brian's stocking.
Are there other stockings? Like, or have we hit all the
Tommy,
stockings?
I don't know if Tommy, I don't know why you wouldn't let Tommy sign up. So hopefully Brian's listening to this and helps Tommy get in as well.
More.
There you go.
All right,
all right, guys. We have more to get to. You're watching OTA on a Wednesday right here in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Wednesday in the Quad Cities. 8 days till Christmas. A week from today will be Christmas Eve, so get your Christmas shopping done. It's been a fun show here on OTA on a Wednesday. We had a lot of fun early in the show. Jake Brend joined us. We had a lively conversation with Mitch Stoermer, and the chat was active as well, which we love to see. So give us your feedback on the expansion of the playoffs when it comes to high school football in the state of Illinois. We're going to chat with maybe a coach or two tomorrow is what I'm hoping to do. I'm trying to find some that are against it, some that are for it, and kind of just continue the conversation because it's a big change when it comes to high school football in the state of Illinois. So Jake Brend, Mitch Stoermer, and of course Ness Guess. Congratulations to Mama Stockpile, Mother Stockpile for winning this week. So back-to-back stocking victories. They can take their hobo and go have dinner together, lunch together, whatever it may be. So very cool to see on that end as well. Make sure you get your picks in. Once the show gets done, we're going to get the link up and moving. We'll get the email out and everything. If you've already partaken, you're on the email chain already. And it should be a lot of fun when it comes to the Ness Guess contest coming up this week. Elsewhere, Monday on the show, we had Pat Anger, we had Brady Welch, and a whole bunch more. Yesterday, Jake Hidwell was on the show. We talked about a lot of everything, but we also remembered the great Jim Albrecht as well. So go check out yesterday's show as well if you have not. Coming up tomorrow, Tom Kakert will be on the show. We're going to talk to Pete Ivanek as we get ready for the shootout. The shootout comes up soon. Another guest I'm trying to line up, and then, of course, some coaches as well. So we will have a busy Thursday to get to coming up tomorrow on OTA. Remember, the poll questions are out there. Your favorite Christmas cookie. The choices, I should say, are Oreo balls, peanut butter blossoms, sugar cookies, gingerbread cookies. I don't know. And that's another question. Is gingerbread cookies actually good? I just see their houses and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm sure I've had them. But I don't think, give me some gingerbread cookies. But maybe there is. Also, the other question, going back to the high school football expansion of the playoffs in Illinois, was it a good idea or not? Yes or no? Pretty simple. Give us your feedback, comment there as well, and we'll get you the results of the poll questions coming up tomorrow, and we'll have another poll question for you once again as well. Thanks again so much for watching today's show. We'll be back with another episode of OTA coming up tomorrow. We'll see you then.